Hello, everybody. Welcome to Pearls of Wisdom. We have another full moon coming up, so I have another reading for you ready. I'm going to share the screen right away so you can see what's going on here for 29 September 23. And as you can see, there's a lot of red and orange. So we can also see here that at least Mercury is direct again, but we still have all these planets here from Mars onwards. Everything is still retrograde. So the retrograde energy has not changed much yet, but what is much easier and what I really appreciate is it's easier to communicate again. So many things happen in this retrograde Mercury phase that is really kind of difficult. Just let's put it less. And I had also feedback from people that the last couple of weeks have been quite difficult. So at least we have Mercury going direct. It's coming to the end of Leo, soon moving into Virgo. And when it's in Virgo, we can see even a bit more clearer, because when with the aspect here, we have the opposition here, you see, to Neptune here. So there is still kind of a little bit the wishy-washy thing going on, that we think it's this, but then we figure out it's something else. So it's not time to make decisions. This is a difficult time in the next few months, that we should not make decisions that are reaching far ahead. Of course, we have to make decisions for our everyday life, and that's fine. There's nothing that you can do about that, but always be careful that you don't make anything rash or very important that can influence, say, like a decision for the next 10 years or something like that, because so many changes will come up in the time, especially when Uranus is going forward again. Things will really blow up even more, and I mean, if you look around and if you're not on mainstream media and see a little bit what's going on, you can see that everything what is from the past is blowing right into our faces, and that the whole agendas that are out there are falling apart. And the real reason behind it, why this is happening, is slowly coming to the surface. But again, when we still have Mercury opposite to a retrograde Neptune, it is not clear yet. So when Mercury comes into Virgo, you will see much further. Remember, Virgo is the sign that we harvest. We plant the Taurus, harvest Virgo, and nature dies in Capricorn, the last sign that we have in the three earth signs. And this is the typical cycle. And please, again, remember, death is not something bad. If we wouldn't have death, we wouldn't have anything else either, because everything would be stuck. So that things can rejuvenate. And you see it very easily in nature. We need that old things die. And again, I mentioned that in so many of my readings and teaching, that does not really exist. You see, even if in the tree, on the tree, the leaves are falling, the tree doesn't die. And it's kind of, we are a leaf of that tree. We are a leaf within that divine order. And it's just, the tree just makes a new leaf. So we can say that one leaf is one incarnation, another leaf, a new leaf that's coming up will be another incarnation. Or even some leaves not coming back because they're moving forward, because this 3D realm, the planet Earth, is not the only the only place where we can exist. So there are many, many ways, and that there are souls here right now that getting ready for maybe new assignments. Let's put it that way. So we have a full moon. The moon is in Pisces, and that's again like the kind of what really is going on, what is going on, and we just cannot see through clearly. And when we look at the opposite here in Virgo, what everything is coming forward in a moment. It always has been here, but now it's coming to the surface. And it was very, it's like a miracle that we are still here, because all the prophecies from the past and say below time backwards, 1980 something, they were all that the earth and we're going to be destroyed. And we made it. Humanity was able to raise the consciousness level so that we can go through this process without the destruction of practically whole humanity like it happened before. And this is the reason why so many light workers or old souls are here in the moment now to help in these transitions, because we have done that before. So we are here to do that again and to help people to wake up. So I think the only thing right now is what we have to do is to focus on compassion and then focus on helping other people to see the truth. So even if we cannot see completely clearly the truth yet, because it will take much longer till everything is out, the thing is question everything what you have been learning, what you have been told. We have to unlearn, I would say 90% of everything. And when we do that, and when we are focused on the here and now, then with Moon in Pisces, Pisces is the other realm. It's like when we look at the cycle of a human, when I said before Capricorn is the last material sign, this is where we also, when we look at our cycle, this is physical death. And then comes Aquarius. But you can see that after Capricorn, it's now finished. And it's very clear also in the astrological cycle that Aquarius is when we can say go just to the other side. And we are very much aware still what's going on. This is when we meet our maybe all the ancestors and the loved ones again. This is that realm where we recuperate and where we also meet with our other soul aspects, what we would call from this point of view higher self, and discuss what we're going to do further on. And then Pisces would be the time when we get ready for the new incarnation, when we are fed the information that we need, and then we dive into that forgetting down into the physical body, because we cannot take that realm with us, but we can stay connected. And in the future, when the earth is in a higher dimension, this will change. That means that when you are reborn again, maybe in 2050, whatever years, then you remember everything. You can take it with you. You don't have to forget everything as we do now. And the reason is because we are vibrating in a higher dimension. That means that we have access to other realms from the beginning of our life. So when we are born, we probably don't have to learn read and write anymore. We know. We just know. We just look at the book and we can read it. And already as quite small children, it's coming with it. And also the future will be very, very different than it's now, but it's always the transition time that is incredibly difficult, because we are so much trained that everything what is new is bad. And we are always afraid of starting anew, of letting go of the old, what we know. And we have to step into the unknown. But very often it is very beneficial for us, and we have a very good information and a very good help when we move into the new to get settled again. And I think it's a very big chance to really let go of the old habits. One of the only chance we really have is to let go and start something new and to step into the unknown. But here we can see all with these red lines, it shows how difficult it is. We are still in a very profound healing process, and that goes all into the Mars area. And Mars, the male energy that has dominated this planet for such a long time, is now fading away. We have also here the node axis, and it is in a process of balancing. And even if it doesn't look like that in the moment when you see mainstream or whatever, so I just can tell you, turn off the TV, turn off mainstream, get off of all that stuff. and come back to a really natural life for yourself. Start to be very aware what you eat, because food is a lot of poison. Don't drink any sodas. That's one of the worst things. And don't buy any ready-made food. Go to the market, the farmer's market, whatever you have a chance to, and start to do things from the scratch. I have learned actually, since I'm here also and grow a lot of my own food, that all these fancy sauces and stuff that I had before, they are just somewhere sitting in the corner, and one day I have to throw them away because they're bad. I mainly use just fresh herbs and salt and pepper and maybe some chili or something like that. And I have learned to really taste the food again. You know, when you have so many sauce and so many other whatever stuff you put on it, it's very difficult to taste the real food. So I have thrown a lot of stuff away, and I have very simple kitchen now, and I really enjoy it. For example, as I just shared with a friend, like when I make, for example, potatoes, I just use some garlic, rosemary, and salt and stir fry it. And it's very delicious, just as a side dish for anything what else you want to eat. And he sent me a very nice recipe that I haven't yet tried, but it's great, to start to experiment again. And you will see that when you cook this kind of food, that you're much less tired, because this nourishes you much more than all this ready-made stuff. And especially don't throw anything in a microwave. Microwave is one of the worst. And I can tell you from own experience, I was working for AEG for a couple years in the 70s. And that's exactly the time when I was presenting the first microwave ovens to the clients. And I was working with it. But at that time, I was not consciously on a spiritual journey at all. I still was very young then. But I somehow felt this is not good for me. And I had this consignation products that everybody of us took home, that we had to go and introduce to the sellers. So I was working for the importer that time. So, we could all keep that stuff. But when I quit the job, I gave that machine back. I said, I don't want that machine in my house. And only years later, in the late 70s, I read my first reports about it, how bad it is. And I was really glad I didn't use it much more often, even if it was very convenient. So I let go of the convenience a little bit and go into a bit more work, do a little bit more, but it's really worth it. I see many people in my age who are in really bad shape. And I'm really glad that my body still is in quite good shape. So see, that's when I'm talking about that, this is just really something that you all have to remember, that in the moment, especially in the shifting energies and in that energy time of pollution, it's also coming down from the airplanes and from everywhere. It is incredibly important that we do something good for our bodies. You might also be with this tension that we have here, that you feel tired more often. Then please rest, because to process all that poison that is around now, and I'm not just talking about physical poison, but also emotional and mental poison that is coming, and all this shock experience we have, and some new horrible things comes to the surface. It is important that we have enough rest, that our whole system can digest that and let it go. All the mental, emotional food that we receive every day is also kind of food that we need to digest and let go. And to let go, the biggest help is in the moment. Just always remember, we are in a matrix. We're playing a game here. And again, we are not here to change the game. We are here to wake up. And the more people wake up, the faster the game changes. because we cannot really change the game when we stay the same consciousness level. We have to wake up. And the moment we wake up, we move into a different reality. And then this 3D reality is below us, and we move in the fourth, fifth dimension. This reality does not exist for us anymore. It's like when you turn the radio from one station to the other. The old station does not exist anymore for you in that moment when you tune into a new station, and that's exactly how it is. So you can try to change the 3D, to change the game, the old station, however you want, but you will not be able. That's why you have to shift into a new dimension, into a new frequency, and then the old will be gone. So even fighting won't help. See, a lot of people are still fighting. This is not helping. We have to wake up. We have to look at the horrors that are happening and then release them. And one process of the releasing is also forgiveness. And this is something very difficult and hard to understand, is that we are all part of the hologram. If I change myself, I change the hologram. That means if I let go of the judgment and go out of this good and bad and black and white, and see that in this dimension of a very low consciousness, that's how things are. We have fallen down, 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 down in a very low consciousness level. And now we need to move up. This consciousness level down here that is mainly fear-based will never change. It's a consciousness level that exists. But your choice is, you want to exist within it or you want to leave it. So this is also something we have to understand, which is very difficult and makes this confusion sometimes even worse, that we cannot really rescue others. They have to make the choice themselves. Of course, we, as I said in the beginning, we have to be compassionate and we have to try to wake up others, but don't try to change the life of others or even yours, because it will happen automatically once you attune yourself to another frequency. Then suddenly opportunities will come into your life. Suddenly you meet other people, maybe people you've known before, but you'd have no connection because your frequencies were not aligned. But now suddenly, when you are moving up in higher frequency, bang, now suddenly you have an affinity to a person that you didn't have before. And at the same time, people with the lower frequency, they will slowly kind of fade out of your life. It's not that you have to kick them out or whatever, but they just have also no affinity to you anymore. It's like when you've been in a group and you went every, say, Friday to have your beer and cigarette, and you come to the point where you say, I don't need the beer and the cigarette anymore, and you don't go anymore. They just go and celebrate without you, and you go on to something else. So this is that constellation that we have here. And as long as these planets are retrograde, it's still kind of important that we have all these insights, that we look inward, for expansion with Jupiter here in Aries, not outside. With Uranus retrograde here, that we seek for the spiritual connection, for the self, for the divine self within and not without. It's so difficult to see that we don't need to worship any gods and goddesses and whatever outside of ourselves, because it's within. The center of the divine light is within us. It is like connected with this fifth heart chamber. That is the light that gives us life, and we don't need to open and close, also no chakras, nothing. We have the light within us. So it's better to become to make life much more simple and just focus to on this light within ourselves, on this divine connection, and ask the divine to be here with you and guide you. And here also Chiron, this is still a very profound time or part of our healing. But it's the healing we don't see yet, because again, we are not in the higher realm. And you cannot know what you don't know. So when we are moving from one station of the radio to another, we don't know yet exactly what is going to be here. We maybe know when we have here some, say, country music, and when we switch here, that here is classical music. So we know that we switch the country music into a classical music station or whatever it is, but we don't know what exactly is going to be played. And this is very important, that we are open, that whatever comes, that even in the moment when we have a moment difficulty to attune to this frequency, is because we are still used to the old. So the step forward into a higher frequency will bring unknown factors in our life. And then it is so important to trust. And with these retrograde planets, so expand inside in asking or meditating that, okay, so I'm in this situation now, divine self, God, goddess within, help me to understand, help me to step forward. And the moment you ask, and it's written in religion everywhere, ask and you shall receive, because they can only help us and guide us if we ask for guidance. So at that moment, the moment you ask, then you maybe suddenly meet somebody who will give you an information, or you find an ad in the TV or computer or whatever, that will guide you forward. And I'm 100% sure also this is for all those who are in trouble in the moment and have difficulties to survive. Please sit down, go into a meditation, close your eyes and focus on your heart, and visualize in your heart. You can actually, two colors are good. You can use a pale gold or you can use pink. Pink is the energy of unconditional love, and the pale gold is that divine light. The divine light is never pure white. It's a little bit of golden, has a golden hue. And imagine that you have in your heart, or where your heart is, that like a sun, like that sun that radiates out, and breathe into it. You know, when you put attention into something, that is like you put energy into it, and then grow this light. Just go into it as good as you can with your visualization, and imagine that with every in-breath you give it energy to expand, and expand it till you sit in that ball of light. And then when you sit in that ball of light, then ask, okay, the divine within me, please guide me. Please help me out of the situation. Bring the people into my life that I need to meet now. Tell me what I need to know. And you will see, when you start to do that, your life will change. We all have something very special that we can offer the world and offer in this time to the transition. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. Remember, you have chosen to be here. So don't give up, move forward. Put everything what you have into this energy of the pure love of the heart, the trust of your own inner source, and then you can move on. And then you will see that things will materialize, like Virgo. Remember harvest, I said that suddenly things are coming up for you that actually you have already prepared a long time ago, maybe even not knowing, maybe in another lifetime, that is now ready, that is being triggered to fall into place for you. So even though if the constellation, when we look at all these retrograde planets, might be looking difficult, which in a way it is, I agree totally, but it is that transition that we need, that transition into another dimension, that we can leave the low energy of negativity and move on into a higher realm. And the worst enemy of this is fear. As long as you are always in fear or self-pity or, oh, I'm poor me, whatever, you're not getting anywhere. So one day you have to stand up and state that, okay, I am a divine being having a human experience. Now I ask the divine within me to guide me. And this is that going and looking inside. And once you do that, this all is coming to fruition, that what you have prepared for, because on another level, you know who you are. But in the moment, you're still separated because this higher self, this light cannot penetrate down into the complete 3D. So the moment when you start to do that, we have a saying, what I said, the kids say, fake it till you make it. So you can imagine that and visualize it till you're there. Just see that light, see like in front of you, that path of light, that path that leads you out of this darkness. And if you do that, the more you do it, the faster you get out. And that's what I say. I was asked again, do you know when this is going to be over? I said, it depends on you, really only you. If you leave this matrix of this very low frequency, then you can look at what happened in the world and see the necessity of it and let it go and move forward on your own personal path. And this will give you the satisfaction and give you the trust and the love and the compassion that you will be able to fulfill your own mission in this lifetime and move forward. We are here to help this transition and not for any other reason. And especially those who were born mid-80s and later. Anyway, in any case, that's why you're here. You have chosen this chance to move forward in a higher dimension. Many old souls are here that are much older, and they have already signed up, and they were the ones who brought forward the energy shift that the planet is not being destroyed. So help each other. Get together, find other people who are on the same wavelengths, and even start to build up little communities. Help those who have already, say, for example, a business or a place. Help those, employ those who have been in trouble because, for example, they lost their job because they did not get the vaccine, things like that. So a lot of communities like that are already starting, and it will be more and more. And if you live in a big city, I think it would be a very good thing if you think about moving away more into nature, because as long as you are in all this Wi-Fi, whatever energy, there is a certain consciousness level that you can never reach, because this is holding you down. This is poisoning you more or less every day. And it's very difficult to keep up a higher energy in a frequency like that. Okay, let me see what else do we have. Saturn and IC. So yeah, Saturn is forcing you to do something. Saturn is the one, if you don't do it, you're being forced to do it. We have retrograde in Aquarius. And again, Aquarius, the ruler is Uranus. This is the higher self. So if you are not connected now with the higher self and give up to identify yourself with the ego personality and move into that higher dimension, you will not achieve anything. Those people who are in the lower frequency moving into all kind of trouble, and those who are moving forward and change the radio or TV station you're on, things will fall into place automatically, and you don't have to fight. You don't have to fight the shadows when you're in the light. And this is what is really a very strong message here. See, we have the AC/DC for the world is Libra, Aries, the beauty and the beast. AC, the beauty. DC, the outside, the beast. So you are confronting all these beasts in the outside, but they are just kind of cursed beings that if you help forward within yourself, because it's nothing is really outside, it's all, like, as I said, you're part of the hologram. So don't try to get rid of the beast within yourself. Integrate it, love it free. Then you're out of the polarity of the judgment. And this is the most important thing we have to do here, to move beyond judgment, to understand that okay, let me that understand that everybody who is still in this very low frequency cannot do different, because it has something to do with the frequency and not with the person. And then here, this is that orange karmic aspect. This Venus moon shows also that a lot of people from past lives, you know, when you look back in past lives, and you might not remember personally, but this is that fear of many people that, oh, keep low profile. That's what I did most of my life, and I had regression experiences of being burned as a witch, and much more stuff. But we don't know exactly when, but this when and how. But in a way, this is like the consciousness, because it's in the hologram. And every, say, for example, woman or man who had an affinity to healing in the past, or magic exists. It does exist. So we just have to think about it again as what it really is. It's not outside of the order of the cosmos, otherwise it wouldn't be possible. But miracles happen. And in those past lives, when we were able to help people, to heal people, to kind of make those miracles happen, we have been pursued and we have been killed. So most of those light workers that have been in a role like that are still kind of petrified and have shocks and go for, again, the low profile story. But now we don't have to be afraid anymore, because the light has shifted already quite a bit. And most of us are in a more light frequency, that this darkness cannot ever reach me anymore, and you, if you are focused on it. I was many times wondering, I did things that I was really afraid they come for me, and they never did, because I realized that through my energy, the frequency, the light that I radiate, they cannot reach me. And this will be the same for you. The moment you move out of the fear consciousness, of the obey consciousness, and I will post a very interesting picture also in my blog. I will move some pictures there that you can see a few more things. So when we move out of this energy, and the more people move out, the faster the energy can also turn for more people that are very close to waking up, but they just need a little bit more light, and we can do that. So again, for those people who have been asking me, how long does it take? It depends on you. The moment, the moment you connect with your light, with your inner light, the moment you shift your consciousness, that is the moment that it will propel you forward. And one part of the hologram is redeemed, another part, another part, another part. It's like you turn on, you light a candle, and another candle, and another candle, and another candle. And you know, the beauty about the candles is I can light as many candles as I want. I never lose my flame. And the same goes for you too. So light all these candles, so the light will become stronger and stronger and stronger. And then we are there. Okay, I hope that helps a little bit to understand the situation in the moment. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up on the video. And I will see you again in my next video, when we have, I hope I have time to do another video in between, but I'm not completely sure yet how it goes. I have a very sick dog in the moment, and which is a little bit difficult. And so I will check out that I can do as much as I can. My dog has cancer, and she's really in bad shape, and I did with homeopathy a lot for her, but I'm not completely sure what I can do. I have my friend in Switzerland helping me also, so please send me good luck for my Sarah. Thank you very much, and I see you soon again. Thank you.